When you're ready, guys.
What's your feelings after that? Were you disappointed with the performance?
I think we can play better, for sure. I think that the opportunities they had really were either set plays or self-inflicted. So, you know, that's an area that's clearly needs to be better. I think on a difficult pitch, our final ball a couple of times could have been better, and you know, we had a couple of chances that on another day I think our forward players would finish, and we owe our goalkeeper for an outstanding performance to keep the clean sheet. So yeah, I think if you'd said to me before the game, would I be happy with that result? No. But I think in the context of the way the game went, the way we started both halves, then and given the overall objective of qualifying from the group, I think it's a very important point.
After the Euros, Gareth, there was a little bit of light and scrutiny over Joe Hart's place as number one goalkeeper for England. That tonight you obviously produced a stunning display. Have you ever sort of questioned his role as number one?
No. I had a long chat with him earlier in the week just to talk about what does he look like at his best, and the two words he started with was calm and composed, and I thought that's what he's been in the two matches that we've had. His decision making's been excellent. His use of the ball with his feet's been very good, and you know, a couple of the saves, or two or three saves tonight were absolutely outstanding. So I think he showed the level that he's capable of, and it was top class.
Gareth, what do you want to see from your England team? Do we have to get used to a team that's going to grind out results to qualify for major tournaments, or are we trying to find something that just doesn't exist?
Well, I don't want to be a team that grinds things out. I think we want the team to pass the ball, and at times tonight, I think they found that difficult on the surface. I think both teams, there were lots of turnovers because of the pitch. And in asking them to play that way, there's a danger there will be mistakes, and there were probably more of those tonight than we would want. So I think what are my expectations of how much they can take on in 5 days or 5 training sessions? You know, I've got to be realistic about the impact we can have. But what I would say is that they showed signs of trying to play the way we want to. They've played at times with some tactical discipline. I thought tonight, you know, the mistakes were a concern because you can't afford those sorts of mistakes at this level. But it's difficult to judge how hard to go in when you've only had them for such a short period of time, and a lot of them are as inexperienced as they are. So, you know, I've got to balance setting the challenge right for them as a team, demanding as much as possible, but also being realistic about how quickly we can adapt to a style of play.
Gareth, you've worked with a lot of them with the under-21s. Do you see an anxiety and nerves that at this level that maybe still a spillover from Iceland, from that sort of trauma?
I'm not sure. I think, you know, qualifiers away from home have always been tense. When I was playing, it was the same. They were always tight. There were very few that you romped away with. I think when you start the halves as we did, that creates anxiety within the team. First half, we then got our composure and were in control of the ball, and looked like we might create a bit more, and had a couple of opportunities that we might have done better. So very much a work in progress as far as I can see, and I think what was key was that, you know, in what's been an incredibly difficult 10 days in terms of not just the situation of taking over, but the number of withdrawals with injury, with all of the other issues we've had to deal with. To get 4 points, we'd have liked 6. We'd have liked to have scored more goals. We'd like to have been a bit more fluid with the ball. But we sit top of the qualifying group, and that has to be the objective when we get through the game against Scotland as well.
What do you think happened with Lingard? What was your view towards the end?
I'm told it was just that he's reacted to somebody raising their hands at Marcus. So, you know, that's something he's got to cut out, because there's a danger you get a red card in in this sort of game where there's inconsistencies in a lot of the decisions, then it's even more of a risk.
Having made the decision on Wayne, it's always nice for a manager when you make a big decision if you win a game, but that doesn't change your conviction that was the right thing to do and a very big call.
Well, I think whatever the outcome of the game, you make a decision based on the right rationale, and it's right at the time. So what we felt was the flow of the game at the moment we brought him on, there was a need maybe for some experience in there just to calm things down. But in terms of the flow of the game and what was needed from the two defensive midfielders, I think that was clear. We needed players there that were going to have to be that type of profile.
Are all your players fit as well? Are any of them going back, needing treatment? Because Hart looked like he hit himself as he...
He's hit his shoulder on the post as he's made the save. I think he's okay, but I don't know. So I'm not aware of anything else, but I've not had a chance to check with the medical team.
Any further questions? We'll do a quick briefing in the room at the back for British newspaper journalists.